Whispers, History ASMR, where stories are not just told, they're whispered from the corners of the past. Tonight, we explore a place that looks like any other hotel, but inside its walls lay death, deception, and a design so twisted it could only be imagined by one man. Chicago, 1893. The World's Fair has just opened, an ocean of light, steam, and sound. Thousands flood the streets for wonder, opportunity, escape. But just a few blocks away, in the quiet neighborhood of Inglewood, a structure rises, 3 stories tall, seemingly elegant, respectable, but wrong, very wrong. Locals whisper about its owner, a doctor, a businessman, a charming, well-dressed man named Dr. H. Holmes. They say the walls inside move, that some guests check in and are never seen again. Before he was Dr. Holmes, he was Herman Webster Mudgett. Born in 1861 in Gilmanton, New Hampshire, a quiet, intelligent child, but distant, strange. He was fascinated by death. He claimed he dissected animals for fun, and once locked a friend in a cabinet with a skeleton, just to watch him scream. Some say he was bullied. Others say he was born this way. He later studied medicine at the University of Michigan, and while there, he stole corpses from the lab, mutilated them, and staged accidents to claim insurance money. That's where the con began, and it never stopped. When Holmes arrived in Chicago in 1886, he was ready for more. He built a large building at the corner of 63rd and Wallace. The bottom floor held shops and a pharmacy. The upper floors were a different story. He called it a hotel, but it wasn't designed to welcome. It was designed to trap. The structure was constantly under construction. Holmes would hire workers, then fire them days later. He didn't want anyone to see the full plan. The finished building had over 100 rooms, and nearly all of them were a lie. Some were airtight, outfitted with gas lines Holmes could control from behind the walls. Others were soundproof. Some had no windows, only a peephole so he could watch. There were staircases that led to brick walls, trapdoors hidden under rugs, secret passageways and rotating panels, and deep chutes designed to drop bodies directly to the basement. In the basement, Holmes had an acid bath, a quicklime pit, surgical tables, and a crematorium. He used his knowledge of anatomy to strip flesh, bleach bones, and sell skeletons to medical schools. It was murder, as business, and he was always one step ahead. He used fake names, moved money constantly, and lied so convincingly that even his victims didn't know they were being hunted. Let's talk about some of those victims. One was Julia Smythe. She was married with a young daughter. Holmes offered her a job and then seduced her. Soon her husband disappeared, and then Julia and her daughter vanished too. Another was Emmeline Sigrand, a typist. She told friends she was engaged to a doctor. Days later, she disappeared. Holmes said she eloped, but her trunk was found in the basement, empty, except for a lock of hair, There were so many others. Women looking for work, visitors to the World's Fair, each one trusting, each one lost, but Holmes didn't stop with murder. He was also a fraud. He faked deaths, staged accidents, and took out life insurance policies on his employees without their knowledge. His final scheme involved a man named Benjamin Pitezel, his business partner. Holmes promised to fake Pitezel's death so they could collect the money and split it. Instead, Holmes killed him and took custody of Pitezel's 3 children. Over the next few weeks, he murdered them, one by one, burying them in shallow graves across the country. This finally drew attention. Detectives began tracking Holmes's movements. They discovered aliases, insurance scams, and eventually the castle. When they entered the basement, they found it just as Holmes had left it. Dissection tables, human remains, a woman's shoe, a bloody trunk, bone fragments in the furnace. They had uncovered a house built for death. Holmes was arrested in 1894. He confessed to 27 murders, but hinted at many more. At his trial, he was calm, smiling. He described himself as possessed. He said, "I was born with the devil in me." The jury took no chances. He was sentenced to hang on May 7th, 1896. Holmes stood at the gallows. He requested to be buried in a coffin filled with cement, afraid that his body would be stolen, the way he stole so many others. The drop came, but his neck didn't snap. He twitched and struggled for 20 long minutes, as if even hell hesitated. The murder castle stood for decades. People said they heard screams, sobbing, and footsteps behind locked doors. In 1938, a fire tore through the building. No one knows how it started. Some say it was insurance fraud. Others say it was revenge. Today, a post office stands on the site, but workers still claim to feel something. Cold drafts, voices, and the sense that they're being watched. Holmes is remembered as America's first true serial killer, a man who used charm as a weapon and a building as a tool for death. But maybe the most chilling part is this: if he hadn't been caught, he would have kept killing forever. Thank you for joining me tonight in the dark corridors of history. This has been Dark Whispers, History ASMR. If you found this story haunting, please subscribe and return. Until next time, sleep well if you can.